I just want to say a few words. I represent here a group that lives with diversities. People living not just with disabilities, people living with diverse genders, people belonging to different groups. Within the Civil 20, it was a very, very huge opportunity that we had this platform. I was invited on the steering committee and had the opportunity to lead the disability inclusion work. Shashibalaji just mentioned that there are 14 groups. In the recent weeks, a 15th group was created, understanding and recognizing the needs of people. हम ये बात करते हैं कि हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने ये कहा था कि जन भागीदारी होनी चाहिए, हमें लोगों की आवाज़ सुननी है, और सिविल 20 ने ये ऑलरेडी कर दिखाया. डिसेबिलिटी कम्युनिटी के रिस्पॉन्स और ज़रूरतों को देखते हुए in a historic step that has never happened across G20 countries, Civil 20 India set up a stand-alone disability equity justice working group for people with disabilities to acknowledge their space and their wisdom. I've been very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that इस group की leadership को मुझे सौंपा गया है, मुझ में इतना trust दिखाया है. पर ये हमारे देश के बारे में क्या कहता है? ये कहता है that we have always been diverse. We have always been accepting of diversity. Where we need to move as a community and a society is a little bit that we need to remove the invisibility around certain groups. We need to acknowledge and sit back and say, okay, I see this room, but who is not in this room and who I cannot see. And I think that's really important as a first step for us in bringing forward inclusion, to recognize that there is diversity, to see that there is diversity, and then to bring diversity at the table. मैं बहुत कुछ शब्दों में ही समाप्त करूँगी because what is important again for us and for me in my journey. I lost my sight at the age of 15, or I was diagnosed. I hear some empathy, sympathy, pity sounds from the audience. But at 15 when I was diagnosed, there were a couple of things. There were ways to take, and the path was to sit back, to relax and say, now life is done, right? Either I become a burden on my family or society, or I give up and don't believe in myself. My spiritual guru, Shri Guru, Padma Shri Shri Guru Dr. Balaji Tambe, he made me sit with him and he said, what are you worrying about? And I didn't say anything, but I had this very, very look that all of us have, this very intense look of why me on my face, so I've not always been positive. I had this look of why me? Why did this happen to me? And he said, you know why you're feeling sad? Is because you're only looking at yourself. If you look around and see what others like you are going through, what other people with disabilities, what are their contexts, what are their circumstances, what other women, what kind of privileges do they have? Do they have this kind of family backing? Do they have the opportunity to live in a city? Do they have the access to an English language? Do they have access to education? Once you evaluate your own privilege and you look around you, it will become easier for you to understand that you're a small part of the larger scheme of things. And I think that was the day when I started losing sight, but I still started seeing clearly how much work had to be done. I just want to end with a few words because I do want to hear ma'am speak. I want to end with a few words to say that the only difference is when we think that something's gone, I think we need to have a bigger vision. And I was always told, oh my God, you lost your sight. I said, it's okay because I still have a vision. And the vision needs to be big. The vision needs to be bold. The vision needs to be inclusive. क्योंकि सभी के साथ से ही सभी का विकास होगा. And going back to what our honorable Jain said. The last is that when we stop dividing, or when we remove the line between us and them, and this is extremely important, when we start seeing people, acknowledging, recognizing them, and then removing the divide between us and them, we will all come together and we will make Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam a reality. Thank you so much.